Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, the first day of the Iranian oil squeezing situation. What a morning it ended up being. And we all knew it was going to be a big day today. I think everybody knew that it was going to be. But it turned out to be a whole lot better than I was expecting. And I'm going to show you exactly how you should be trading these oil stocks, how you trade in war times like this. Because times like this, there's a ton of opportunities, but there's also a ton of opportunity to get slammed, smashed, burned, exploded. So let's talk about how you can avoid that. Now, the biggest thing is going into today. Of course, I knew it was going to be a pretty active day, and it ended up being a pretty active day. I'll give you a little preview here. Look at this trade I caught on STAK. Pretty crazy, right? And what it comes down to is not having a predetermined bias. Last night on social media, I'm scrolling, and I see so many people talking about how they're going to do this and that at market open. They're going to do this and that at market open. This has to happen. Look, you screw yourself from the get-go by doing that. We don't know what's going to happen at market open. Nobody does. And so we have to wait and see what's going to happen. And the unfortunate fact is a lot of people today chased, forced out of FOMO because they felt like today had to be a massive day. And the difference is going in the market open today, I told myself it's just a normal day. I told you guys on stream too, if you were in my stream this morning with my students, look, I said it's a regular day. It's just a typical Monday. There just happens to be a few more things moving. That's it. It's a normal day. And whenever you sort of reposition it that way and you tell yourself, look, it's just a normal day, it either sets up or it doesn't. Because I had three stocks I was watching going into market open. I was watching TURB, USEG, and INDO. Well, as you know, none of those really set up for me. And so I told myself in pre-market, I said, look, it either sets up or it doesn't. If it does, I'll trade it. If it doesn't, I'll sit back and wait for something better. And that's what I had to do today. I ended up trading STAK, TURB, and TPET today. Only one of the ones from my pre-market list. Because I had no bias going into the bell. I just told myself, look, it either sets up or it doesn't. I play it or I don't. And that's all there is to it. And a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. But whenever you tell yourself, look, today's going to be massive, it has to be massive. I saw somebody say it had to make their year today. I'm like, look, you're setting yourself up for failure from the start because that just preconditions you to go force trades, to go chase something, because you feel like you've got to make something happen today. Today easily could have been a no trade day. You come into the open, and the fact is with these oil stocks, anytime we have these themes out there, we have these nasty 4 a.m. moves that aren't tradable. They ultimately aren't tradable. And so we have news over the weekend. And so, of course, everybody's already watching these stocks. They're going to be slapping the ask as soon as pre-market opens. And then you have moves like this in INDO where it gaps up from 570 all the way up over $9, test to 10. Which depletes that range because, as you know from last night's watch list, I said that INDO had range to 10, which hit at 4 a.m. There's no way to trade that, right? It happens over the weekend. And so from there, I can't play that. Then USEG, the game plan here was to watch it for the breakout of 175. Well, this also broke down. What do I go and play? I've got to find the stocks that look the best to everybody. And the thing is, I saw a lot of people today watching the stocks that look like crap just because they had some predetermined bias. You've got to watch the stocks that look the best, the largest number of people. We say this all the time, the most obvious setups. And today, out of market open, which ones were left standing? Right? Which ones were left standing? And for us, that was TURB. It was TPET. Right? Everything else was selling off while these couple setups were holding their ground and even moving higher after market open. I missed the first couple trades on TURB out of the bell, as you can tell, because I was trading TPET. You can't try and catch two birds. You're going to miss both of them. Or two rabbits, whatever the saying is. So this is, look, you try and watch the stocks. I had people in chat today saying they were watching Indo. They were watching this and that after market open after they'd already knifed. And I had to say, look, guys, get your eyes off the stocks that nobody cares about. They're knifing. The chart tells you, look, you need to go watch these other stocks that are actually finding interest right now. Trade where the demand is. And so out of all of these stocks this morning, we had TURB making a big move out of market open, which I was able to trade today. The biggest concern here, I didn't trade through here initially. I was playing TPET instead, which was outstanding. We'll walk through that in a minute. And while you might say this looks good, and in hindsight, I can say that I should have taken this here. But the fact is, the reason why I didn't take it here is because we had this big high from pre-market formed, which from here, we see there was a good bit of volume off those highs, which means we had a lot of sellers, right, taking place through here. Right, so we have sellers sitting through here. This becomes an area of supply. So I can assume this price is trying to consolidate here. You're almost consolidating beneath this previously formed area of supply, so I had a hard time taking it. All right, so I didn't trade it there. I did, however, take a couple little plays off these pullbacks. I saw it holding up really well off these lows and almost curling back over the 90 MA. So I did take it for a small win there. Ended up playing it here, as you can see, from 138 back to about 145, about a 7-cent play. Little base hits. Again, not really looking for a whole lot on that because I knew we had these highs stacked overhead. But I saw an opportunity, I saw it tighten up, and I saw that I had to at least strike a little bit. So I did do that this morning. I got a little bit of something here, but little base hits. Going on from this, I started the day red this morning, by the way. I did start the day red. And I'll show you here on TPET, where we open up, this thing gaps up out of market open. And at first glance, I didn't like this going into the bell because for one, look at this. We had this higher high where I knew we had to break above first, right? And so it tries to break above. As it pulls back, I try to take it here for a curl back up through these highs. I got a little bit aggressive, but of course with small size to start. I took a very little loss. You can see I had from 118 to 116, 115 with a half size and even less really because I even got some taken out here to de-risk at 118. But in any case, didn't get to move there. I took an early exit, took a small loss. Well, then price knifes. Look, it knifes back to these pre-market levels. Then it reclaims. Look at this. It pops back again. I'm like, well, let me try this again. The same exact plan that I executed here. Let's just try to shoot my shot again. So we get back over the 90 MA. Buyers are back in control, putting in place these higher lows. I take the next entry, of course, risking down here off the 20 EMA to see if we couldn't get that previous break or the break the previous high. And we did. We got it. Of course, as price begins to break higher, of course, I'm raising my stop loss to prior bar low. And then as price, look at this, price rejects underneath this previous candle's high. That's where I take my full exit. So a pretty good trade here. I'm not mad at this. We had room here to 130, 150. This was actually a halt. We halted up here over this previous high of day. It just resumed weak, and that's where I cut it for a full exit. I was able to play it again on the reclaim again, similar play. I was playing it here within this, in this sort of channel, but a little small play. But all in all, again, I'm happy with this. This trade here was nice. Same game plan as this, just of course mildly different. Of course, same entry spot, same entry price, same game plan, same risk. The only difference is one gave me continuation, one did not. So not too shabby though. Again, this was a good one. Of course, found strength out of market open. And after this, there wasn't a whole lot happening. And so after that trade, I sort of had to sit back for a minute. And I was sitting back, really. From that trade, I was sitting back all the way until this went on STAK at 10:15. So I was sitting back for a good 20 or so minutes until my next opportunity came along. And honestly, it was tough for me too because I came into today expecting a lot of opportunities. So for me, even then, it's hard to sit back, but you got to make yourself sit back. So by putting myself into the right headspace, going into market open and telling myself, look, it's a normal day. It either sets up or it doesn't. It might even be a no trade day. I tell myself that every single morning. I tell myself, look, today might be a no trade day. Because I never want to count that out just out of the question entirely. Because it always could be. It always could be a no trade day. And so I never want to come in and say, look, today's going to be a massive day, and then nothing sets up. Now I go out and force something. So it took a lot to sit back, but I did. I've only traded 3 stocks today. This was the biggest one. So STAK gets breaking over VWAP here. And wow, this is pretty dang good. And what stood out to me the most on this on STAK is the fact that this was also an oiler. So it's a penny stock. It's an oiler. Float was nice at about 10 million shares. So it fit the theme for the day, which was oil stocks, and it was new. It had just started moving. So we get moving. The daily time frame here was incredible. So much range. I want you to look at this. So much range. So I knew that I most likely was going to get some trades on this. I had to at least watch it. And so it breaks out on that first candle. You see it here, how it breaks out with volume back over VWAP. Look right here. Then we see a pullback off the 90 MA where I took my first entry, risking off this past candle's low for the break of highs. So I get a break at the high over pre-market highs, which sat right here. I try to add back for the break higher. It doesn't give me the break higher. So then I take the exit at my entry, have a small window start, and then this is where it gets good. It pulls back, and I tell everybody on stream this morning, I said, look, guys, I'm going to watch for pullbacks off of VWAP to confirm, and I'm going to take a re-entry. Well, we knew that it pulled back here and found the next leg, so I can expect that since it found buyers here, that it'll most likely find buyers here as well, and what I want to look for is confirmation of that. So it confirms off that pullback. You can see it right here. I took a re-entry at 64 cents, stops down here off of VWAP, which means ultimately I'm in here at 64. I've got to stop down here around 58, so we can say about 4 cents of risk. Now, that's where this gets really good. We confirm that confirmation. Is that even a word? You confirm confirmation? I don't know. Well, anyways, we found confirmation. As that next candle closed, raised my stops to entry. The rest is history. This breaks over the highs. As we break over this previous high of day, I get my stop loss raised to the bottom of this candle at the 90 MA. I knew we had range to $1 a share on this based on past daily highs. And so as this is breaking higher, I'm literally just trailing my stops off the 90 MA the entire time until we eventually reject off the highs. This was incredible. You can see trail off the 90 MA, gave it time to consolidate and break up higher. Once it did, as you know, exit strategy, we sold off the highs on high volume where it tries to break higher here. Massive rejection, flips back underneath this previous candle's high. That's where I take a full exit, and overall was done and sitting back on this. But the entry here almost looks fake. It's incredible. So happy with this. And again, it was able to catch this from 64 all the way to about 88, 89 cents. Came back, and it ended up breaking back. You can see the break of trend here. Check this out. We broke trend here to the upside. Took it back on the reclaim of the 9 and 20 EMA. Stop loss goes to the bottom of that candle. I got a little bit of a move back up into those highs. Ultimately was looking for a retest of the highs and pretty much got that. Again, as it tried to break higher and rejected, that's where I took my full exit once again. And again, I'm just pretty happy with this. So again, simple little break of trend, reclaim the 9 and 20 EMA. Nice. Pretty happy. So that being said, that is really the morning. I am stoked. It was a good day of opportunity. Hopefully you guys had a good day too. The big thing, again, is just trading what's obvious. Don't try and be a bottom feeder, picking up crumbs out of the trash can on stocks that nobody cares about after market open. Trade the stocks that have strength. Trade where the momentum is. Trade where the momentum is. Be smart. Be responsible. Set yourself into the right headspace before market open. Set proper expectations. No bias. And just go in with a clear mindset. That's all you got to do. All right, so pretty good day. Let me know in the comments below how you did today. Hopefully you had a pretty good day as well. As always, if you did learn a thing or two from this video, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And make sure as well to claim your 7-day free trial down in the description below to trade alongside me in real time every single day. And of course, you'll get our alerts, education, full watch list, chat room access, all of our tools, everything like that. So hop on in there. I'll see you back tomorrow morning for an awesome trading day, or I'll see you back here for the daily recap. So again, comment down below how you did. I'm very curious how you did today, and I'll see you back next time.